So, are y'all ready?
Absolutely.
We're
Now
ready.
proceed through Dark Soul style.
You, yeah,
Push your hand
slowly
through the
as you
fog.
put your hand
Game
through
over.
the fog, it kind of opens up a little passageway for all of you to walk through as you file in. And Nylos, you are currently stealthy, using the darkness to hide and kind of keeping close to the walls.
We still have our torches out. The reason I mention that is is anything visible when we go through this fog?
So immediately when you go through the fog, because it isn't visible before you go through the fog door. Also, Popnook, as you're sitting there and you're listening and you're ready, you actually hear a big whooshing sound coming from the room. You're not sure exactly what to make of it, but
Okay, I think that's enough for Baru to just kind of bust through that door.
Baru busts through the door, and you also have Nulk following close behind, as you would see on an altar a skeleton body that's been covered in bones from other skeletons. You would see another skeleton wielding a staff with a crown of bone on his head and some royal looking armor with a metal breastplate, green fur on his back going into a necklace with a raven's head and a red cape, as you hear him say, "Yeah, rise, my son. For 1 century I have been working to perfect you, and now you shall rise." Who are you? Who disturbed my incantation? My one-on-one time with my son?
Great, we're gonna have to kill Skeletor.
I would like to respond in Minotaur.
Okay, what is your response in Minotaur?
Bone marrow.
Cool. Unfortunately, I don't think he speaks Minotaur, so he's kind of gonna look at you, cock his head a little bit.
I don't bother responding. I just draw my weapon and take a step forward.
Okay, you draw your
I'd
weapon.
also like to ready action.
So you start drawing your weapons. One thing too is you would also hear the skeleton as he's looking at all of you. "I'll let my other guys deal with you." And you hear him speak in a mixture of Dwarvish and Common as his two skeletons start to come at you. And everybody roll for initiative.
I wanted to yell at him. Are you Gustav Durst?
As you hear the skeleton turns again. "Why, yes, I am. Did you know me? I don't remember your face."
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to think how even to respond to this. Because my character wouldn't really know anything other than his name.
What'd you get, Matt?
10 plus 3, 13.
Damn, am I the highest?
Okay, so I got everybody's initiative. You are the highest, actually.
I'm the one without any initiative bonus. Should I wait until Braxton composes his response?
You can, yes. I'll say that combat is waiting for Braxton to have his response with the Emperor.
Take your time, Braxton. I want it to be good.
Surely you're a man of culture. What are you doing here?
Well, you see, I lost my only son, and so, as a curse, for trying to bring him back, I have to try and succeed before I escape this mortal coil. And my son shall take my place as the rightful owner of this land.
Gustav, look at yourself. You're far past this world. You have to get over this grief you have for your son.
I am no longer Gustav Durst. I have ascended to become the Emperor of Bones, and it is my destiny to wake my son from his eternal slumber.
Can I make a persuasion check to continue to try and convince him?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so
This
persuasion
is
is
D&D. You can do anything.
persuasion is, was it charisma? Okay, so plus
It
0
is.
for me. Okay.
Ooh,
What was
wow.
Oh god. Okay. Hold on. Let me think about how I want to say this.
Milestone.
Oh my god. I was writing down initiative. I didn't see that first.
What did you say his name was?
So his original name is Gustav Durst. He
Yeah.
now calls himself the Emperor of Bones.
Gustav, you're not the Emperor of Bones. You are but a shell of what you formerly were. You have to accept what you've become and let go of this grief that you have for your son.
But how can I let it go? When he was cut so far in the prime of his life, he never got to rule the land which I ruled. He never got to be my successor, and because of that, my family lineage died. No one could take the heir to the throne.
You're right, Gustav. There's nothing left to rule. It's all a shadow of your past.
Well, if it is a shadow, then I shall hide in it for the rest of my days. And you see as he runs off, splashing through water into a cave and goes out of sight. However, after he leaves, you see that the skeleton that was on the altar starts to shake and rattle and kind of creak and lifts up from the altar and stands with glowing red eyes looking piercingly at the party.
Guys, I just want to say out of character, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize this was going to happen like this, okay?
Hey man, I'm here for that Gettysburg.
I'm just like... I just persuaded the main enemy to run away. God damn it.
Nah, man.
You made a skeleton run away in tears.
You made him cry.
He's gonna go off himself, man.
Well, that's even worse than what we were gonna do to him.
So the skeleton that was on the altar, though, is this is supposedly his son?
So that is what he called it. You see, is it's actually looks like it's the mutilation of multiple skeletons combined together, but all the bones look adult.
But basically, there's no distinguishing, based off the portraits we saw in the house, there's no distinguishing figures
No, there is not.
that would allow us to establish that we're destroying this man's son.
Exactly. And also, upon further look of the skeleton, it does look like all the bones are adult-sized bones.
Okay, and these abominations that are still chasing after us, basically what you're saying is they're still definitely in the mood to kill us.
Yeah, so the two skeletons originally that were at the Emperor's left and right respectively, they're just following orders, and so because the person who gave them orders has kind of dipped, they're really looking at the last orders they were given. And then the Emperor's son that was on the altar, he's actually going to take the place of the Emperor of Bones in initiative, which means he is going to go first.
Okay, and my character is just gonna kind of look side to side at the party, and well, that was unexpected, but it seems we've got some underlings to deal with. And then I'll ready my weapon and initiative and everything like that.
Okay, so
My quarterstaff.
with initiative beginning, the first skeleton, the Emperor's son, with the anger and everything, he actually runs towards Braxton's character, moving up.
You done goofed. You had one job as a wizard, survive.
Apparently, it's to persuade enemies to run away.
So let me roll the skeleton's attack and see if he hits Braxton. Braxton, what is your AC?
And
Ooh.
so he'd have to roll low not to hit me.
Okay, so he takes his sword and he tries to stab at you, but he accidentally stabs for one of the spots on your robe, and he does not hit you.
Ah.
And unfortunately, that is all he can do for the turn. So now it goes over to Bjor.
Okay. I rush over to the skeleton conglomeration and
Which one? The one directly in front of you? The one
are
that's
they all mishmash?
So there's the one that's right in front of you. There's the one that's attacking Braxton, which is the one with the red eyes and was the Emperor's son. And then you have the one that's past the one that's attacking Braxton. There's 3 different skeletons.
Okay, yeah. I'm at the sun. Red
Okay,
eyes.
so
Deep fried.
5, 10, 15, 20. Right down there.
And I will grapple him.
Okay. So it's your strength versus his strength.
Just strength, okay. 22.
Ooh.
And you know what? Just for safety reasons, I'm gonna use my psychic talent die on this ability check, which is a D4 now. 24.
So with that, yeah, he is definitely grappled. And because he's grappled, his speed becomes 0.
I'ma throw him.
Grappling is an action, so it would take your full action.
Very well. But he's restrained to only hitting me, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You make attacks at disadvantage towards you because he's grappled and can't do anything else. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, well, I mean, the original intent was to throw him instead of just grapple him there, but if that takes 2 actions, then...
So now, after that, it is Nylos.
Okay.
You do have the option to move like out over to here. That way you're not locked in.
Well, I need to get into melee range of the dude that is sandwiched between everybody, but it's going to get me flanked. So...
But you would also be flanking him.
Yeah, but not that dude on the outside.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have no other choice because I don't get sneak attack on the others. So I guess move me between the other two and let me just see if I die.
So you go through and you move in between those two skelly boys, and roll me an attack roll with advantage.
Okay, and just to be clear, I'm going attacking to the left.
Yep, the big skeleton that used to be the Emperor's son.
Okay, there's 1, 8, and a 17. So 17 plus 5.
So yeah, that hits. Most definitely hits. Roll your damage with your sneak attack die.
Alright. I got a 7 plus 3.
10. With that 10, you do manage to shave off a couple of this man's ribs with your arming sword, slashing it kind of like you did the owlbear. And he's definitely not looking too hot. He is very bloodied.
Very good. Okay, so I moved 15. I would provoke opportunity from both of them if I were to move.
You could move down and you would still be inside of their attack range, but not flanked.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let me do that then.
Okay, so you go through and you move down, so that way you're still within range of their attack, but you are not flanked.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and intern there.
Okay, cool. So after Nylos, it is the skeleton all the way up here on the top. And everybody else is looking kind of scary, so he is going to go over to the cowman and see what he can do. The skeleton wants some beef. So the skeleton does hit with his short sword as he takes a swing at you. And let me calculate damage. That would be 3 damage slashing across your cow chest.
Oh.
It did hurt a little bit. And that would be the end of his turn, as it goes over to the skeleton that is now kind of with his buddy. He's actually going to try and see if he can get this man out of grapple. He is going to make an attack. Ah, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. He tries to, and he does hit Bjor square in the back, but the armor just seems to negate all the damage. And Bjor doesn't feel a thing.
Typical.
As now it is on to Braxton, the wizard who spoke his tongue so well it made the Emperor run off crying.
Man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
It's alright, he can't hit you right now.
I mean, so if I try to use a spell though on any of these skeletons, pretty much I'm gonna hit someone, right?
Only if it's an area of effect.
Okay, well I'm gonna go for skeleton number 2 then. That's at
The one that
Bjor's
just attacked
back.
Bjor.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna cast a firebolt on him.
Okay. Roll for your attack.
Okay, so I need to do 1d20 plus my spell attack, right?
Ooh. So I would say that sufficiently hits.
And
Roll me
then
damage.
so it's 1d20 at 120 feet. Or sorry, d10, excuse me.
I'm gonna say that's some high damage.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you do see as the white bone that he has becomes black and charred, and you actually see as a couple of bones drop from his body. You actually would notice as the jaw just kind of becomes detached from the skull and just drops to the ground.
Okay.
Anything else you would like to do?
That takes a whole turn, right? That's the spell.
It takes a whole action. You also have movement and bonus action.
bonus action?
So bonus action is anything that's quicker than an action. So it can be using a class feature. It can be casting a quicker spell. You'll actually see when something says bonus action versus one action.
So if I try to back up behind Bjor and Mino, that's not going to put me at a disadvantage, right? Because I'm moving away from that grappled skeleton. Bottom left.
Normally it would provoke opportunity attack if you were to move. So his attack range is a 5-foot like circle around him.
Granted, I'm grappling him right now, so he can't do it, right?
Yeah. If the skeleton was not grappled and you moved out of his attack range, you would be provoking what's called an opportunity attack, meaning that he can go through and attack you whenever you're moving out of his range, or at least try to make an attack. It doesn't mean it'll always succeed.
I'm basically wanting to be behind Bjor and behind Mino.
But because he's grappled, it's not going to affect it, and so
you my green marker is I want to be on the bottom left behind Bjor. So
wait, so you started here.
Yeah, up one. Right there.
Okay, so that would actually still be, so that wouldn't even be producing an opportunity attack. So yeah, that's perfectly fine to move.
And I'll mark it.
Okay, cool. Mino, it is now your turn. You've just had your cow chest slashed by a skeleton. How do you react?
I will take a big old swig at him with my warhammer.
Cool. Make me an attack roll. 11. Unfortunately, that does not break his armor class. And so as you go to swing, his lack of like meat and muscle kind of throws off your aim, and so he dodges past it. Anything else?
Nah.
Okay. Next is Nulk. You have one skeleton that is currently grappled right in front of you to your right, or to your top right.
Mm-hmm.
Which means
what do you
everyone
wish
gets
to do?
advantage on attacking him, correct? Everyone else at least?
Yes, because you're grappling him. So Nulk, what is your plan for taking on this skelly boy?
I guess what's my cooldown on the Bardic Inspiration?
Yeah, you can use his times equal to your charisma modifier, and it's per long rest.
Okay. I think I want to cast that on Mino.
Okay, so you're gonna cast some inspiration towards Mino. What bits of inspiring are you gonna do? You gonna sing? You gonna do words? You gonna play music? Need to get something inspiring.
I'm talking wop, wop, wop on this wet.
Oh no.
You
is the opposite of inspired.
You don't Nope doesn't know where he heard it, but just like as he was traveling, he heard that song, and he just liked the rhythm to it. So he has no idea where it's from or what it's saying. He just likes the song. So when he heard it, to Mino.
Okay.
He's very
cool.
clueless on what it means, though.
So yeah, he goes through and he sings it, and Mino, you actually feel like you want some of what Manny is singing about. So yeah, it definitely gives you inspiration, and now you can use a D6 to add to an attack or a skill check, whatever you need that you feel that song's gonna inspire you about.
All right.
Oh boy.
Nope just has a smile on his face and gives
somewhere,
Mino
that's
a
for
thumbs up.
Anything else you would like to do, Nulk?
I want to try and move away from the skeletons a little bit, so I think I'll move to the right of Nilos if I can.
Unfortunately, it's blocked. You have this guy, you have Popnook, and then you also have the Emperor's son blocking your path. You can really only move up right behind Braxton or down into the doorway.
Or just turn around, just straight up leave.
Yeah, just nope out of there.
I'll just stay here then.
Okay. With that being the end of your turn, Popnook.
So Baru is going to take the disengage action.
Okay.
Basically, mounts can only use disengage. They basically get cutting action, but that's all they can use.
Yeah.
And so Baru's gonna move me to the right one or up one again. This is the same direction.
So this way.
Up one. There you go. And then I'm basically moving right there. And then I'm gonna attack the one that I just moved from.
So this guy.
The one down. Because I have an attack of 10 feet.
Oh, that's right.
Because I got a lance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess him up.
Okay. Roll me an attack then. Forgot how long the range was on that.
Oh my god.
So
A whole night.
unfortunately your lance, kind of like the chest, it just pokes through the ribs right in between.
Ooh.
It actually seems like it would be a more skilled shot to make than missing, but somehow you made it.
Man. Okay.
Anything else?
Not really.
Okay.
That's all I got.
In that case, turnover goes back to the top, and it is the Emperor's son. He's going to try to break out. So, give me a athletics check to see if you keep restraining him. Yeah.
I'll roll my psychic die as well, which is D4. 3, so 24.
Oh man, I almost rolled the nat 1. I was gonna have a heart attack for a second. Well, you definitely win. So he is still grappled. So there's not really too much he can do, and that becomes the end of his turn. Bjor, it is up to you. What are you gonna do while you are grappling this man?
You said he was bloodied, correct? Very bloodied or just bloodied? Very bloodied?
Which means he is at 1/4 health or lower.
Who hit him before?
That was me.
Yeah. Nylos gave him a good slash up the rib cage.
How much damage did you do to him?
Yeah,
10.
so it was 10. I can definitely tell you he does not look good right now.
I'll go for it. I'm gonna attempt to crush his head.
Okay, make
Hell
me
yeah.
a strength check because there's no real attack to it since you already got his head. You got his whole body.
I'm gonna roll my dice.
You should try to squeeze him, like just break him apart by squeezing him.
Yeah, I'm trying. Essentially, I'm gonna go full Mountain from Game of Thrones on him and just crush his skull with my hands.
Hell yeah.
14.
So the good thing is you do it.
Hell yeah.
Describe how you do it.
Well, I'm kind of bear hugging him right now and kind of pick him up a little bit, but my anger kind of gets the better of me, so I throw him down so he's prone on his knees, just pick him up by his head, and just essentially turn my arms into a hydraulic press until I hear a couple snaps, and then it just shatters.
Are you going from the top, like your hand on the bottom jaw and your top
each hand on his temples.
There you go.
And
That's how you do it.
Press until it pops.
And as you hear like the crack, and then you feel your hands clap together as the skull is crushed and the rest of the body just flops. The Emperor's son is now dead. Whop. And
Wait, was that a whop I heard?
we did hear a lot.
And is that the end of your turn, Bjor?
Yeah, now I'm just looking at the other skeleton right next to me with kind of a psychotic look in my eye. And that ends my turn.
Can you make me an intimidation roll by chance?
Very well.
19.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it actually looks like it's shaking in its bones.
He's spooked.
It's some rattling bones. So with that, Nylos, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna move up 1 and go for another sneak attack.
Okay. Let's see what
Okay.
that is.
So a 20. It's a 15.
I was gonna say that doesn't look like a nat 20 to me, but
No,
15
it's
plus.
15 plus 5.
So that's definitely breaking his armor class. Do your damage.
So 7 plus 3. 10 again.
Another 10. And this time you actually managed to kill him with a nice and swift decapitation to the back of his neck as his
Nice.
skull kind of rolls in the puddle of water. Splish, splish, splish.
Very good.
Anything else you would like to do in your turn?
Nah, I'm fine where I'm at.
Okay. So next one would be the only skeleton that is left. And he really, really wants that big hunk of beef. So he's going to make another attack roll. And sadly, his want for beef is not as strong as his ability to seemingly miss the big cowman that's in front of him as he swings and tinks his sword on the side of the wall.
Hell yeah,
He
taking
then,
to McDonald's, Mino.
He then decides to move a little bit down over to here where he might have a better time with easier to hit targets. And that is the end of his turn. Braxton, what do you wish to do?
I'm gonna move down to where Nulk's at and then cast firebolt again on the remaining skeleton.
Okay, so you move down 5 feet and make me an
Could I-
attack roll.
Would I be able to move
To the
down? Yeah, right, and then down one, right there,
Yep, definitely.
and still be able to use it in my attack.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll do that. Here's my attack roll, and
So roll me damage.
here's my damage. It's just 1d10. Just that's the damage, right? There's no pluses
Yeah.
to it. Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good. However, the skeleton is not yet bloodied, but you do see a big scar right on his hip bone from your singeing.
Going for the goods.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay, so after that is Mino. You wish to show this man what McDouble can do?
Yeah, but you said I can add that inspiration to my
Yes, you
attack
can.
roll, right? What is it, a 1d6?
1d6, yeah. So roll that.
Wouldn't the skeleton also take bonus damage because of he's using a bludgeoning weapon? I feel like I remember something about that.
I believe he's right on that.
He does take double damage from bludgeoning because it's a vulnerability. So that is a 6.
Yeah.
That moves it up to a 17. And because
Mhm.
that's a 17, it definitely hits. So roll me some damage.
Supersize that meal.
The skeleton asked for you to supersize him. 10, and then doubled because of vulnerability. So it's a good 20 damage. With that, you sufficiently crush the skeleton into the ground. You can describe how you do it as well, if you wish.
I would like to basically swing the warhammer from below, almost like an uppercut,
Uh-huh.
and just send him launching.
You see is you get it right between his legs, crushing his pelvic bone, and sending the rest of his body just flying, scattering upwards to the ceiling. It hits the ceiling, smashes some more into smaller pieces, and then kind of rains down in some little bone dust. As that is the end of combat.
Gotta love that whap.
It really helps, I tell you.
Nice.
So
Well,
yeah.
So in character, Braxton's just like, well, I'm a little bit worried about the Lord of Bones. We've dealt with him, but he's not exactly dealt with.
At this point, that psychotic look kind of grew a little bit, and I'm not at the point where I'm forming words anymore, and I'm just looking around for where the Lord of Bones went, and I rush off to the exit that we saw him leaving.
So, and there is also, as you're looking around, to give you an idea of what the room is now that you're not as indulged in combat, there's the cave off towards the bottom where you see a decent amount of water is kind of pooling up. It was never enough to make it like difficult terrain or anything, but I'd say it's a good like 2 inches worth of water on the floor, and it just kind of goes into a cave entrance on the bottom right. In the center of the room, you see a big statue that depicts what you can only imagine would be the family's kind of symbol and figurehead. A big wolf knight with a long sword in the middle and heavily clad in armor, what looks like a dark stone to mimic the dark metal from it. You do see the altar, which the skeleton was made on, as well as you see some carved runes that are inscribed into it.
I want to roll Arcana check.
Okay. 13.
I
So
can
you would,
investigate as well.
yeah, you can also do that too.
I will.
So with the investigation check, you do notice a couple of the skeletons that are lying around the altar that look like they had the bones taken from them to make the skeleton you had been fighting, the Emperor of Bones' son. With your Arcana check on the altar, you can tell that it is something that's normally used in darker magics, stuff that was considered forbidden or on the lines of, necromancy, as well as the inscription is an ancient language that no one really speaks anymore and isn't one of the common ones, so you can't really tell what it says.
Whatever this language is on this altar, it's an ancient one for sure.
All of you would also notice there is a door in a hallway off to the top that just looks like it has a very basic wooden door to it. And Bjor, to get back to you as you're kind of running into the cave, you run in and you're splishing and splashing through water that by the time you get to this little alcove in there that's about, I'd say, 10 to 15 feet around, you notice the water gets up to your shins. There is what looks to be a drop off on the right that drops maybe about 10 feet down, and then you can kind of see as it curves a little bit and you don't know where it goes. As well as down following the water, you see that it extends maybe about another like 20 feet, and it kind of curves. You don't know if it's increasing in its depth or not.
At this point, I'm kind of a little deranged, just kind of growling at, muttering to myself, "Where is he?" So can I make like a perception check to see where I think he might have gone?
Yeah, go ahead.
11.
So 11. Unfortunately, you really can't see any unbroken rocks. You can't see anything you could consider an escape path, really, even for a creature that is made of all bones.
I just get mad and start hitting the water, just kind of
Okay.
letting out a couple growls.
Oh.
At this point, the kind of dull, luminescent glow in my eyes has grown to a very brilliant green. My mouth is hanging open at this point, revealing that I don't exactly have human teeth in there.
Oh.
And it's like I'm crying, but it's not tears. One would assume it might be blood coming out of my eyes. But that's the catatonic kind of state I'm in as I'm trying to calm myself down in this
So
little
everybody is hearing this vigorous and violent splashing and growling coming from the cave, which you can presume to be Bjor.
I moved down so I could see him and start eating popcorn.
I'll kind of come down to where Pop Nuts at, and then I feel like my character kind of realizes that Bjor's acting a little bit out of sorts, and so rather than trying to approach him, potentially get mauled, I want to use prestidigitation in the water. And is it possible to maybe like make like a water figure or something like that?
So let me look up the exact prestidigitation. So you can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as like a shower of sparks, puff of wind. You can do. You can light our snuff candles. You can clean or soil objects, chill, warm, or flavor up a cubic foot of non-living material. You can also make non-magical trinkets and illusionary images that fit in the hand. So yeah, you can make it like tiny little water figure as long as it's about the size of a person's hand.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make it like a small little elk water figure and just have it kind of prance around him in a circle,
Yeah.
in a kind of like a playful manner.
You can definitely do that. So Bjor, as you're in this kind of unbridled rage, you see amongst the like a dark blue water a kind of brighter and shimmery elk that starts dancing around you very lightly, very delicately, with a lot of finesse.
turn suddenly and stands to apprehend it, but my reasoning starts to slightly come back, and I realize that that's a conjured elk, and I look back at the entrance and I can see them staring at me. So
You
I
also
straighten
notice as you would see
Braxton's-
Braxton moving his hands for the incantation.
And he's kind of smiling at you, and as you look him in the eyes, he just kind of slowly like moves his hand like a little, a friendly kind of wave.
Bjor straightens himself up, kind of wipes whatever that was from his eyes, and kind of looks back down the hallway to kind of break eye contact as he realizes that, it's a bit of a tense situation. I know he went somewhere here. The trail seems to have gone cold. Right. Yeah, I'll be there in a second. I'm more calm now, and I'm making my way back.
I want Braxton as he walks through the kind of water pathway, just kind of gives him a kind of reassuring kind of pat on the back a little bit, and said, "Hey, you did a good job, Bjor."
He just grunts.
You're all gonna investigate up to the top, or do you just want to?
I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna go back down the cave and investigate down there.
Okay.
Specifically, or to that drop off. You said it was like 10 feet down or something like that.
Yeah, 10 feet down. Does anybody
I'll be
want
right
to
there.
join Bjor in his adventures into the water?
Mm,
The splishy splashies?
I can go with him.
I'll hold off.
Okay.
Stay with the rest of the group.
Okay, cool. So who wants to be leading into this room?
Baru is. He's gonna. Well, I'm on top of Baru, so.
So we got Pop Nook and Baru. We've got Nylos. We've got Nulk, and we've got Braxton. So there is a completely normal looking door. Do you wish to open it completely normally?
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try and what?
Open it.
Open it like a normal door.
Okay. And
I don't
it
believe
opens.
I think I'm gonna dream.
Anything that's normal, just nope, it can't be.
I guess we'll keep going. I'm definitely like Baru sniffing.
As you go through, you see a stone archway that leads into a room that contains 4 identical stone chests.
I want to roll an Arcana and an investigate check in the room.
So you would notice that with this room
Oof.
there is which
Arcana.
was the
Arcana
okay, sorry.
first. Yeah, it was first.
Why'd you roll the? Oh, you rolled both of them. Okay. Were they both the same modifier?
Yeah, they're both +5 for me.
Oh, okay, cool. That works. So, with the Arcana, you really wouldn't notice too much, except you do feel a very slight aura coming from the chest, but you're not able to discern exactly what it is, good or bad. You just feel that amongst there being no magic in the room, there seems to be 4 little blobs of arcane energy that are around the chest. And with your investigation, as you go through and you look through the room, there doesn't seem to be anything unusual. This is just an empty room with 4 stone boxes arranged in 2 neat rows.
Did Doggo find anything?
Doggo, as he sniffs, he tells you that he can smell faintly water.
Water in
But-
here? Or
Like in the room, yes.
oh,
Like
there's water in
specifically
there.
in the room. You can also tell that the stone chests are actually built into the floor, but have working hinges.
I'm walking up to the
Uh,
first one, and I'm just gonna go ahead and see if it's locked or not.
I was just about to ask Nihilus, why don't you check these out?
So which one? Top left, top right, bottom right.
Top right, it is.
Top right. So you actually do notice that they are not locked, but they do take a little bit of strength to open.
Okay, I'm gonna use my
but
crowbar.
Okay. You go through and you open the lid, and as you look down, you actually see a little bit of an arcane circle, and from that arcane circle, you can actually see water start to bubble up.
We're all gonna die.
Matt,
And as
you're
you
supposed
do
to
so,
check for traps, Matt. You're the pro.
as the water starts to
disappointed.
bubble up, you can also hear the sound of ka-thunk as the stone door
Ooh.
seals right behind you.
I'm disappointed, Matt.
Aaron, do you have your Ray of Frost on you?
I do. Yeah, I do have it prepared. Actually, I
Alright.
have.
I'm also going to rush to the chest and see if I can.
You should probably.
Can Dior hear that
Freeze
all
that.
the way across the way?
Make me a perception check.
Very well.
And I won't need
I'll roll one
initiative,
with you.
but there are going to be rounds.
I got 13. Damn.
13, so
Ooh.
unfortunately no. With you wading through the water, you really can't
Yeah,
takes
and
up
there's
most of
like
your
another
sound.
door. Ooh, but
Oh
Did I hear it?
Amino, you actually do, as you're wading through the water, you hear a loud ka-thunk.
those big cow
And
ears.
it definitely sounds weird. You don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't sound good, and you can tell it's coming from the room above where you fought the big skeletons.
I'm gonna go and like just tap on Bior's shoulder and have him follow me to the door.
Okay, let me see. With your movement, that would be. So you can make it there in either 2 turns if you dash, like a full-on sprint, or you would be making it there at like the end of. So you would be making it there at like your 3rd turn if you just normally walked.
I'll do a dash action.
Okay, are you dashing as well, Bjor?
Seeing him dash, I will too.
So you both dash over, and you go through the normal door. Kind of, I'm gonna say Bjor, you were probably in the lead because you were a little bit closer. You shoulder check and just kind of run through the door, not even bothering to open it. And you see as this big, heavy stone door is closed, and you can kind of hear. Actually, what do they hear, guys? What's y'all's reaction to one of the boxes filling up?
Oh,
Braxton he's quiet. Like he looks tense, but he's quiet. He's kind of quietly studying the room, so he's not making a lot of noise. Also, just to clarify, right now the room is filling up with water from that chest, right?
The chest is currently filling up with water, and you can tell that once the chest fills up, it's going to pour over into the room.
Okay.
Would this still count as a regular trap that my thieves' tools can handle?
Unfortunately, it is arcane because it's a magical circle.
Okay, I figured as much. So
How do you?
it's all you, Braxton.
How do you dispel magical traps?
So
Dispel
there is
magic?
actually, there's a spell called Dispel Magic.
You don't
can
got it.
also, if you
Yeah, I don't
see
have
the if you see the trap, you can roll an Arcana check to see what the trap does and what specifically its triggers are, but you can't disarm it.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly walk up to the chest that's filling up and cast a ray of frost on it. Attempt to
Okay.
freeze it.
Okay. I will say you're still going to need to make that ranged spell attack.
Okay, so I need to roll my.
You need to roll your 1d20 plus your spell attack. And you're also going to need to make sure you use that.
Two of them in
Oh
one
my
die?
god.
Two
Right after each other.
What the hell?
Jesus Christ.
So.
20.
Nice
And
though.
he froze the entire room.
As you go through and you put this ray of frost in, you can actually tell that, it stops the water. It stops the water pretty well. You successfully clog it up. And now the only thing is the stone door has not yet opened.
I'll let you bind us a few minutes. Or bite us.
Can I try to like muscle the lid of the chest closed?
You can. You actually don't even need to really muscle it. Any creature with above 10 in their strength can close the lid.
Okay. I'm gonna force it closed.
Yeah, you go through and you close the lid. You make sure it's kind of sealed, and the whole chest is just ice now. As Braxton just made sure to like kind of freeze it all.
Well, we
Not
have
wanting to
3
leave
more
it.
chests here. Do you think they're all water?
I am not willing to make that wager.
So I think,
But, I mean, I
Mr.
guess we're trying to
Braxton,
get out.
Mr. Braxton did see 4 things of arcane, but no, we didn't know that.
I think before we loot any more chests, we should find a way to get out of this room first.
Does anybody wish to like try to brute force the door?
I probably could.
Okay, so no. As you go up to the door, you would actually hear Bjor on the other side of it as well. So you two would kind of hear each other, and that would be the first thing you would hear, Bjor.
What happened?
Water in room.
What?
Hit trap.
Oh, man. You pick it up from that side, I'll try from this side.
Okay.
So both of you roll me strength, and both of you have advantage
Nice.
because you're like
Weird.
helping each other out.
Question: what is this door made out of?
The store's made out of stone.
Hey!
Nat
So
20.
many nat 20s.
Oh, I'll just do it again.
I think we need another 20 to make it a good night.
18. So 18 plus a 25.
Yeah. So we got a nat 20 with the 25, and then we've got a 17. So
Oh no, 18.
Oh, yeah. So with all that, yeah, you are both able to throw open the door up so hard it actually kind of crumbles as it goes to the ceiling. You successfully have opened the door, and
I hold out
Bjorn-
my. Noak holds out his hand for a high five.
I kind of look at him quizzically and then slowly return the high five.
Noak smiles. You can see like his big fangs.
He looks at him for a second, shakes his head, and then walk past.
So Bjor, you would also see that there is 3 stone chests and 1 stone chest that is covered in ice.
So there's a possibility for some really cool loot here. This family was very wealthy, but they really armed their valuables.
It also looks like it's been ransacked before, considering the adventure.
Well, have we tried any of the other chests?
Not yet.
So is anybody else wanting to open the chests?
Braxton's gonna cautiously go up to the top left chest.
Okay.
I'll go to the chest nearest to me.
Yeah, I'll go with Yor, and I'll go and like poke the lid open a little bit.
Okay, so
I'll
everybody's
toss the lid
opening up
open.
chest.
Guess
So
I
you
can't
all
really
three,
open mine anymore, right?
It's a little frozen shut.
Might as well set.
I'm gonna sit
Might
this
as well
one out.
set them all off at once.
So
Yeah,
you all three
we
go
synced it up.
through and open your chest all at once. And as you open, water just kind of starts gushing out, like almost geysers from all three of them. As the water goes through, and the door is broken in such a way that it really can't shut back. So the water kind of flows down through the hallway and then just back through the cave.
Quickly, everyone out of the room.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But not yet. I wanna be the last one out. So I wanna be where Pop Snuck's at right now. So before we leave the room, I'm going to quickly attempt to seal this off. And I'm gonna try and use Frost Fingers on the room, which is a full blown spell normally, but it's a cone of cold basically. So my goal here is to try and seal off the room from furthering down the hallway.
Okay. The good thing is that one isn't an attack. That one is actually just the water making a Constitution saving throw. Water can't really make a con save, so yeah, you're actually able to successfully, before the water actually makes it too far down, you're actually able to freeze the water. And so now you see that the cave is actually coated in this nice sparkly ice. And yeah, now this place looks super icy.
All right, and then Braxton's just gonna walk out with the rest of everybody.
You did a perfect job of being Mr. Freeze, I can tell you that much.
I was thinking more like the frozen scene where
To the group, Braxton's just like, the water's frozen for now, but I don't know how long it's going to last.
So is there anything else y'all would like to explore in this dungeon? Every room has been touched so far.
I'm gonna make it
question.
back to where we were.
Yeah,
There's
were
nothing
we
really
able
to do
to
with the
determine
cave.
how far that drop down was?
He said 10
Okay.
feet earlier, I think.
Yes, it is a 10-foot drop.
Oh, that's not
Well,
bad.
I go ahead and hop down.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll leap down with them.
I want y'all both to make me dexterity checks.
I want Braxton to be down there with them, just where I can view what they're doing, not necessarily down there with them.
13.
Okay. And then Mino, make me a dexterity check.
So it's 1d20 plus my dex modifier.
Yes. So Bjor, you actually make it down there with a pretty decent like superhero landing style that somehow doesn't hurt your knees and your ankles. And then Mino, you kind of stumble and you try to do some interesting parkour stuff that you like saw somebody do once in town somewhere, and you don't quite get it right. It kind of gets scuffed up, but you don't get hurt.
Broke your neck.
snap. Make the
Dex saving
camera-
roll now immediately.
Snap crap pop. So as you're
roll a
going
perception
through,
check?
yeah, roll perception or investigation.
Are they not in water here?
They are not actually. The drop off
18.
is covered by a lip of stone that
Oh,
keeps the
okay.
water.
It's like a little platform.
So 18 and 12. So neither of y'all notice anything out of ordinary. This looks like just a section of kind of naturally carved out cave that was pre-existing even to the water erosion. And you also cannot see any sources of light or any sources of escape.
So it just dead ends.
It does not dead end. It actually, the terrain slopes down starting where you're at, Bjor, and goes down back into the water.
I proceed forward.
So as you proceed forward, because the drop was 10 feet and the terrain starts sloping down, the water is actually pretty high right now. The water is actually starting to get up to your chest level.
That's fine, I'll wade through it.
Make me a perception check.
15.
15?
Oof. Oof.
So, as you go through and you're looking, you actually notice that right at the end, the last little square, there's an immediate drop. Like, not anything that's gradual. It's just your foot goes from solid ground that you can walk on and the water's still like at your chest to, oh, there's no ground at all.
Can I look underwater to see how deep it is?
Unfortunately, because of the murkiness of the water, you really wouldn't be able to see. You would be moving through the dark blind. You do like try to poke your head down there, but it's so murky, really can't see down there.
Well, I'm gonna try to see what's down there.
Okay, so you're gonna try to go through and swim down there and see if you can find anything?
Correct. I mean,
So-
that Skelly boy only had a couple places to go, right?
First, roll me athletics to see how good of a swimmer you are, and then I'm also going to look at the rules for holding your breath because I know there's a chart for it.
Oh, damn. I'm gonna use Psychic, which I can use once before a long rest to reset my Psychic talent die, and I'm gonna add that to this, which is be back to the D6.
So you can hold your breath for 4 minutes,
Okay.
and you're a pretty strong swimmer. Now roll me perception at disadvantage because you're in the dark water. And Mino, you would notice the drop off and you would get your foot to kind of slip, but you don't go all the way in because you saw Bjor jump in before you.
Oh wait, not advantage, disadvantage. So it'd be
Yeah,
10.
so it'll be 5, 10. So yeah, you definitely cannot see anything, and you swim down the full what would be half your breathing time, so you have enough time to swim up, which would be 2 minutes, and it just still keeps going down and down and down into the darkness, where you just can't see it all. You're completely blind. Do you want to
Alright.
use the remaining 2 minutes of your air to swim back up?
Yeah, might as well, because skeletons don't need to breathe. So he could have gone as far down as he wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
one
return.
advantage of being undead, you know. Would anybody else like to do anything while they saw kind of like a Bjor and Mino just go off do their own thing, or is everybody kind of just waiting on
Man.
them?
I mean,
Yeah,
at
we
this point, I
just-
feel like we just have to go back up now.
Yeah, I think we just need to go back into the house.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to.
So y'all
So
are
how-
gonna head back up.
Yeah.
How to solve a problem without solving a problem.
Smash.
101, Braxton.